Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to the last trading day of the week. And it's been a relatively quiet day in terms of announcements, not in terms of the market because it's up. In fact, all tech up 1.56% as I speak, which is not surprising because NASDAQ had a pretty good overnight session. But yeah, not many announcements being released today. Let's have a look at those. Only 60 events, price sensitive events. Even though it's not marked here as a filter. Again, it's just ComSec. Do I have to now mark it? There we go. So only 60 price-sensitive announcements being released today compared to 840 on Tuesday. Yes, 840 on Tuesday, 136 on Wednesday, 106 on Thursday. Now, it's not surprising we are seeing a quiet day today. Fridays tend to be quieter, and just after a busy period also tends to be quiet as well. Now, in saying all that, we should be seeing a few trading updates, hopefully a few profit upgrades, maybe a few profit downgrades, because we only have 2 more months in this financial year. So management teams around the country, around the world, should be quite aware of how they're performing in this financial year. And if there's any surprises, they should be revealing those surprises to the market. So we have seen a few trading updates being released in the past few days. Can't remember if we saw any today, maybe one or two, but I did eventually come up with the top 5 announcements of the day. And those top 5 companies or top 5 announcements were released by Macquarie Group, Block, Pentanet, company called Synertec, S-O-P. I believe it's Synertec. S-O-P. Whoops, got to put in the right D code. Synertec Corporation. I don't know anything about this company, even though I did look at the company very quickly about 5 years ago. Yeah, about 5 years ago. And then Count. I thought this company was called Count Plus, but it's not. What was the ticker code? CUP? Just Count. Count Dracula or Count Plus. CUP. That company made it into the top 5 announcements. And to be honest with you, nothing else came close to entering the top 5. Now, I might have missed 1 or 2 announcements because I am looking for certain sort of announcements. I'm looking for financial reports, full-year or half-year, quarterly reports, trading updates, profit downgrades, profit upgrades, maybe a contract or two. So there might be some interesting announcements that I've completely missed, and we'll have a look at the best performing and worst performing companies on the ASX today to see if I have missed anything. But even if I have missed anything, more than likely it won't make it onto the list. The only company that might have made it onto the list but didn't was Cash Converters. I won't talk about that particular announcement because it's not really a company that I am that excited about. But I will talk about American companies releasing results. We had a slew of companies releasing results again in the past 24 hours. I might mention a few of those companies because we did see one of the biggest companies in the world release their results, Apple, an interesting reaction from the market in after hours trading, particularly when you look at the results on the surface. And I might touch upon maybe 1 or 2 of the others. And in fact, Block, which is listed on the New York Stock Exchange, did release their results, and that company did make it into the top 5 announcements of the day on the ASX because there is a dual listing there because of Afterpay. If you don't know the story, Block bought Afterpay, and part of that acquisition was their shares would be listed on the ASX as a dual listing, ticker code SQ2. So we'll have a look at that company. And I'm pretty sure the share price is probably up a fair bit because in aftermarkets trading, Block on America on the New York Stock Exchange was up over 10%. So it should be a pretty good day for Square or Block shareholders. Okay. Now, before we have a look at the ASX today, now actually we will look at the ASX today first, and then I'll have a look at the American companies, and then we'll have a look at the top 5 announcements of the day. And if I do have time, I should have plenty of time, I might have a look at a few charts and a few purchases I made during the day. Yes, I have been active today. So this is Cloudflare. I'll talk about Cloudflare when we get to America. So that was the wrong tab. So this is the ASX today. A pretty good day on the markets after a pretty good day on the American markets. So let's have a look. And look, you can just see tech outperforming the rest of the market, which is understandable again. NASDAQ was up about 1.5%. 1.29%, sorry. Dow Jones 0.85% up, and S&P up 0.91%. So a really good day. In fact, all greens in my market watch list. All greens. Let's have a look at the first red. DAX, UK 100 down. Natural gas down. Australian 10-year bonds down. Iron ore down slightly. Lithium down a fair bit. Cocoa down heaps. What's happening with cocoa? Oh, cocoa prices have collapsed. That's weekly chart. Oh, in the past week, cocoa is down 31%. Yeah, look at that. Looks like a Matterhorn pattern. That just shows you, don't get too excited if you see something going up very quickly, exponentially, in fact, because eventually the share price or the price of whatever you're looking at will collapse. And that's exactly what's happened with cocoa. Doesn't mean there's more cocoa on the market, but it just got over bought. There was too much hype, too much fear of missing out, or something like that. Anyway, and you can see the massive volume coming through too. So there was a fair bit of interest in cocoa in the past few weeks, and you can see that just in Twitter. And that's how I became aware of what's happening in cocoa, just through Twitter. Anyway, let's go back to the markets. So let's have a look at the sectors. What's the best performing sector? Discretionary up 2%, real estate up 1.81%. Now that's bullish in terms of interest rates not rising. If the market thought interest rates would probably rise, both of those sectors would probably be down, particularly real estate, which is fairly, what's the word? Fairly sensitive. That's the word I was looking for. Fairly sensitive to interest rates movements. IT up, and that's another one that would be fairly sensitive to interest rates movements. And those less sensitive, maybe, and this would be debatable, financials, materials, industrials, where Staples. Staples is sort of in the middle there. But all sectors up today. Well, how has gold performed? Down. So gold continues on its volatility, down big 2 days ago, up yesterday, down today, and possibly the only down indice on the ASX. Let's have a look. Yes, the only down indice. Financials is the second worst indice, and that's up 0.15%. Best indice today is, again, discretionary, and then the REITs, fairly similar then or to the sectors. Now let's have a look at the best performing companies and the worst performing companies on the ASX. We'll start with the top gainers. Rincon Resources up there again, up 52.63%. Someone did bring this company to my attention over a week ago before we had a significant move, or just the start of the significant move, and this is a significant move. So they brought it to my attention probably last Tuesday when the share price was around about 4 cents or so. Now it's 14.5 cents. So hopefully some of you have got on board the Rincon Resources Express. I'm not willing to trade this at all. This would be more of a day trade thing. So let's have a look at the 5-minute chart just to see. So if I was day trading this, I'd probably be looking at 5-minute chart, something similar than that. And it's looking beautiful. 5-minute chart looks beautiful. Nice little dip here. You could have bought at 7.5 cents on Tuesday. But yeah, Rincon Resources absolutely going bananas after share price was in a long-term downtrend. And I think that was on some sort of gravity anomaly. And again, I don't really care about those sort of announcements, but the market loves it. And the best performing company on the ASX today, up 52.63%. I'm assuming on no news. I could be mistaken. Maybe they released something and I completely missed it. 1st of May, that was 2 days ago. Yeah, so no news flow from the company. We also had PPK Group. I don't know much about this company at all. Basic Materials. They did release an announcement. CIB announces $30 million order. Okay, I completely missed this one, and this probably deserves to be in the top announcements of the day. I'm going to make a decision and throw out number 5, which was Synertec. And I'm going to put this company, because the share price is up a fair bit, 36.1%. This deserves a look. I'm going to put this company in at number 3. There you go. Sorry, Synertec, you have missed out today. Maybe Synertec should come in number 5. And I'm going to throw out Internet. In fact, Whoever was the worst or best performer out of Pentanet and Synertec will come in number 5. Okay, so we're going to have a nice little look or comparison between those two companies. Now, setting up 25%, what's happening there? Share price of this company is on a little bit of a tear, well after they released their quarterly results. I'm not sure what's happening here. Yeah, some interest coming in with our sit-in, high volume today. I don't think the company released any results or any news today. I might be mistaken. No news, just a little bit of hype, fear of missing out, maybe that sort of thing. And otherwise, nothing much here that is interest. Stealth Group, which I do own, up 15.4%, but was down a fair bit yesterday, so I don't really care about that. And BetMaker's up. And by market cap, let's have a look here. And there is Block, up, 10%, which is not surprising. We have Clarity Pharmaceuticals up again, 7%. So hopefully some of you have had a position in that. We have Main Pharma, a company I have been thinking about trading in the past, and also Dimerics, Silex Systems, something to do with uranium. And then otherwise, it's just really interesting that Clarity just keeps on going up. Again, I think this is more fear of missing out than anything else. And if you look at the daily chart for 3 big up days in a row. And I think I wouldn't be interested in this right now at all. And I'm just kicking myself that I didn't take a position about 270. That was my buy price, but that's okay. You're always going to miss out on some decisions, and this is more of a story stock. And I'm trying to stay out of story stocks at this point in time. I've have learnt my lesson in the past around that, and this would mainly, if I did take a position, it would be mainly just a trading position. Okay, and now. I think that's it. And now let's have a look at the worst performing companies today by percentage change, low turnover, so nothing of interest here. Pretty sure Actigen Medical did release something today, ACW. Do you remember that ticker code? Actigen capital raising. So I'm going to skip any sort of capital raising. And there's Synertec, down 14.4%. So there is a potential now that it's Pentanet that will be left aside, and Synertec will come in number 5. So obviously that was a negative trading update. And obviously Pentanet did not perform better than 14.43% in terms of, I want to see this percentage change of the share price up by more than 14.4%. But obviously it did perform better than Synertec because it's not down by more than 14.43%, because we know it's because it's not here. And then by market cap, and there's nothing here. I might have missed something, but nothing here that there's Synertec. So nothing here that is speaking to me right now. So I do have the top 5 announcements of the day, and I'll go through those in a second. But first, what happened on the American markets overnight in terms of quarterly results? So I'm going to talk about Apple first. So Apple, this is from Kobayashi letter, went or released their results after trading had finished for the day. All eyes were on the results from Apple. There were fairly bearish signals in terms of the results would be looking pretty bad on the servers, with most metrics down. But what did Apple do? They decided to do a buyback, $110 billion buyback, which is apparently the largest on record, and also raise their dividend. And it seems like that's all the market cared about, because the share price will pop up on open, up 7% in after hours trading. A lot of interesting debate on Twitter about this. Look at that name, Demonic Williams. Elon Musk there, wow. Interesting comment here. Tim Cook would go down as one of the worst CEOs in history. Come on with your stupid opinions. So a lot of confusion, I suppose, when people looked at the results and went, results are terrible. Why is the market rallying? It's because of buyback and because of the raised dividend, but everything else looked pretty bad. And again, I'm not sure if the results beat the markets. expectations. Let's have a look at earnings calendar. They probably haven't got it here yet. Earnings per share consensus 1.51%. So there is a possibility that the earnings actually beat expectations and they weren't as bad as thought. And if you actually look at the chart for Apple, the share price had been in a little bit of a funk. So maybe the market had priced it in. I don't know. But again, share price of Apple will rise significantly on open tonight. And I'm a shareholder, and I wouldn't necessarily say Apple looks attractive at these levels, but these are pretty big buybacks. And just by doing this massive buyback, the earnings per share of the company will rise, even if they don't grow. That is how a company can provide value to the shareholders, by doing buybacks. There was a really interesting tweet I did see somewhere in regards that buybacks were illegal or something like that before 1982, and they should be illegal again. I don't understand that logic. But interesting, it was all about this buyback. And you get all these negative little snarky comments like Apple can't sell iPhones or innovate anymore, but they sure can buy back stock. Yep, that's okay. Anyway, here's another little anti-Tim Cook post. Sort of comparing Apple to Nokia. I don't know about that. I have a feeling that they will release, eventually in the next few years, they will release something that's going to be really interesting to the world, and Apple will become favorites again among these ones who are disparaging the company right now. So that's Apple. Share price should be up a fair bit overnight, I would say. Mercadolibre should be up a fair bit as well. I had a look at that company, and Mercadolibre, here it is. So they're like a online marketplace for Latin American companies. Brazil, Argentina, ticker code MELI. I'm assuming it's up a fair bit on aftermarket trading. Let's have a look. After hours. I'm assuming, up 7.9%. It's not surprising. Their results actually look pretty good. I have been thinking about buying this company for the last 2 years. I bought Spotify, which isn't the same sort of thing, but the chart, it had dipped a little bit. Yeah, I like this company. I actually do like this company and their potential. Market cap $76 billion, so you do have to pay, and it's barely profitable, but you do have to pay. Also, Block, which I'll touch upon when we look at the top 5 announcements of the day. Coinbase is the interesting one. Coinbase looked like they hit their results out of the park, but I think it might already be priced in. So Coinbase, let's have a look at that company. I'm pretty sure this is something to do with the you trade cryptocurrencies through Coinbase. Am I right in saying that? That's what they do? Is that all they do? It offers crypto-powered technologies, including self-custody wallets, centralized apps, and services. Yeah, sort of something to do with cryptocurrencies. Anyway, so this is their chart. It's looking pretty good. You can see a fair bit of volatility in the company. And I just noticed their results looked really bullish, but I think the market might be pricing it in. And you can just tell by looking at the... So share price up 8.9%. Did they release the results after hours? And after hours trading, up 6.5%. So this might be, this up 9% is after hours, because now the share price was up 8.9%. So they released this after hours and the share price still rallied a fair bit. So after a little bit of a dip the last month or so, went from $280 down to $200. So a lot of volatility in this company. So that's Coinbase. And there's another company called Amgen. I want to look at that. But the last company I want to look at is Cloudflare. This is a post from Brad Freeman, stock market nerd. I do get an email from this guy almost every day. I really like what he does. And this is just looking at Cloudflare. So I looked at this and went, oh, Cloudflare share price should be up on open because results beat estimates, beat guidance. Really good increase in all this. So if you look at revenue, up a fair bit. In fact, from last year, up 30.5%. 3-year CAGR up 40%, quarter-on-quarter growth 4.4%. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Margins are good, free cash flow are good. Yeah, so it looked all good. And then I went to this, had a look at Cloudflare, which is NET. That's the ticker code, by the way. NET. Market cap, here it is, Cloudflare. You can just see all these companies. Look at this. This is ranked by market cap, and just so many have been releasing. This is on one page. We need more pages. This is all a page of companies with a market cap greater than 25 billion. This is why I'm investing in America, because a lot of companies listed over there. But Cloudflare, I noticed, I thought after hours trading would be up. No, it's down 13.4%. And I was a little bit confused, and there was confusion in this Twitter feed as well. So someone asked him, why is after hours trading down? He says, I'd need to listen to the call before I comment. But service level data looks fine to me. What? Why is it down 15%? Again, yeah, so a bit of confusion here. But yeah, obviously I'm missing something because I don't know this company as well. But even someone who's following the company is a little bit confused. This guy said, Jeff Wright says, have to think market was anticipating a bigger raise in guidance. Don't see any issues. This ain't bad. I don't shares. Not talking about my own book. This ain't bad at all. So a little bit of confusion here. It looks fine to me, just expensive. So maybe hoping for a larger raise. Yeah. So this is one to own, not to trade. So I am now actually thinking, and I think this is a little bit expensive, but the growth in this company, I had a look. That's why this company was on my TradingView platform before I started this video, because I was having a look at it going, it's interesting, weekly chart. So yeah, share price has been as high as 220 back in 2021. And just had a look at the growth, really impressive revenue growth. Revenue growth has gone from 287 million in 2019 to 1.3 billion. Now the company's not profitable. So I don't know how you have $1.3 billion of profit and not profitable. It just confuses me. And these companies just keep on spending or increasing their expenses without even having a view on profit. That's the way I look at it. I'm pretty sure this company could be profitable if they really thought about it. In the last quarter, I'm not sure if this is the current quarter. I'm not sure. But if I go through the last 5 quarters, persistent growth in revenue, but just loss-making by the same level every single quarter, it seems. I just want these companies to be profitable. But market cap is 30 billion. So it's really hard to do any sort of valuation for this company. But just based off the revenue growth, and I think if this company wanted to become profitable, they'd be highly profitable fairly quickly. So if the share price drops a lot, and it will, if it drops even further, I might put a sneaky bid in. So we are looking at the share price based off this down to $76, which would be there. And there is a support level right on 70 or just below 76. I might put a bid in at about $76 in anticipation of a bounce. I'm going to do that. Because there's a nice little support level right on 76. And based off after hours trading, it's going to open right on that support level. Oh, I dropped my pen. That's why I was looking down. So net. Possible trade. Cloudflare. All right. So that's all I got in terms of American companies releasing results. So I'll have a look at Block in a second. Now let's have a look at the top 5 announcements of the day. And I'm not going to talk about Pentanet, but I'll just show you what they released. They released up 8.5%, but they released just an investor update. Nothing overly interesting in that investor update. This comes on the back of the company releasing their Appendix 4C on the 30th of April. And the share price has been volatile in terms of, has been as up as high as, where was it? 8 cents back in the middle of March, now down to 5.1 cents. It has been dropping fairly consistently. So I don't think this rally, or the volume is pretty big. 24 million shares traded compared to 1 million shares traded the last 4 days. So apparently someone has liked what they saw in this particular announcement, this investor update. But it's just, I didn't have a close look, but there is marked price sensitive. So maybe there was something in it that, yeah, that I missed. But anyway, it did not quite make it into my top 5 of the day. So coming in at number 5, we have Synertec. Synertec? No, SOP. Synertec Corporation, share price down 14.43% on the back of a trading update. So let's have a look at this trading update. And the company also secures up to $15 million debt facility. And there was a $7 million placement. Maybe that's why the share price has dropped. So maybe not to do with the trading update at all. Open up. So what's the share price now? So 8.3 cents. So I'm assuming this this placement was at about 8 cents. So issue of 87.5 million shares at a price of 8 cents. This is why the share price is down, not because of the trading update at all. So I completely missed that second announcement because I don't really focus on those sort of titles at all. I don't really look at those sort of announcements. I look at trading and business updates. So let's have a look at this trading and business update. Is this company a company to get excited about? And last time I had looked at this company, it was 5 years ago, or something like that. Anyway, so group revenue and other income in the range of 4.8 to 5.2 million. So that's the third quarter, up 47% on previous corresponding period and up 9% on the second quarter. Gross margins remain strong, but they haven't mentioned what they are. And that's about it. So on the surface, I don't really have anything to complain about. So obviously, and maybe the market has something to complain about, but obviously the share price movement is because of the placement. That's all she wrote. So nothing really in the trading update that's negative, on the surface anyway. So let's have a look at the chart. Is this a reason to get excited for Synertec? Markup of this company. So let's have a look at the markup of Synertec. SOP. Standard operating procedures. This is an acronym, probably for many companies around the world, standard operating systems. Every April, May, I buy many shoes. And when I say many shoes, running shoes, that is, I bought 7 and they're just coming one after the other. So about 4 days in a row, I've had shoe deliveries. Same person has been delivering them, but they usually come after 4. But today, they've come before 4. Anyway, Synertec, is this a buying opportunity? But before I do that, so the markup of this company is 35 million. So it's a fairly small company on the ASX. In fact, it's ranked 1,293rd in terms of market size out of 2,385. So it's sort of in the middle. That's weird. Company with a markup of 35.84 million is in the middle of sizes of companies, company sizes on the ASX, which is in fact quite intriguing. There are a lot of small companies on the Australian exchange. So let's have a look at the chart, and the chart looks ugly. So this is the daily chart. Share price has fallen a fair bit from 30 cents down to 8.3 cents. And now they're doing a placement. Why? Why? So they must be short of cash. So obviously this company is not profitable. Look, this is the annual data. Actually, that's the half-yearly data. Revenue is increasing last 3 years from 8 million up to 14.8 million, but loss-making. In fact, losses have been increasing the last 3 years. But this is an ugly looking chart and badly timed. In my opinion, badly timed capital raising. You want to capital raise at the top. That's when you're near the top, when the share price is going to rally. Maybe they did capital raising then, and but maybe they've just been burning through too much cash. Chart before that looked pretty good on the weekly chart. And I did my research on this company, probably back in 2019, and the share price was doing absolutely nothing. Anyway, so I probably should have picked Pentanet coming in number 5. Pentanet should have come in number 5. So I'm going to have a look at Pentanet. Quick look. No, I'm not. I'm not. No. Got to be disciplined. All right. So coming in at number 4, we have Count. I thought this company was called Count Plus. Before we have a look at the announcement, how big is this company? 50 million. Oh, 94.5 minutes. So completely out. I have not done much work on this company. Share price is at 56 cents. Not much of a rally today, only up 2.75%. But is this company profitable? That's the other thing. I don't know. So let's have a look at trading view. Actually, no, we'll have a look at the chart in a second. Chart and the profitability of this company. Okay, so they released an announcement today called Count Upgrades Synergy Benefits. The other thing I want to see is, was this company called Count Plus? It was called Count Plus. I knew it. They've changed the name. I knew it. There you go, Count Plus, and now they're just called Count. Partners with leading firms and provides valued services to a professional community of financial advisors. The company collaborates with leading accounting and advice firms for the long-term success of our clients, people, and shareholders. Doesn't really tell me what they do, though, to be honest with you. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's have a look at this announcement. And why did this coming in at number 4? Well, apart from not many announcements were released today, and obviously if this was released yesterday, this wouldn't even be on my radar. But they mentioned synergies. I love the word synergies. And when I say I love the word synergies, I mean I hate the word synergies. I hate it when companies make or do an acquisition and they just talk about synergies. This is going to be synergistic. Many synergies will come through this acquisition. Even at work, they talk about synergies, even though they do acquisitions. But this is a case where a company made an acquisition. So Count made an acquisition of Diverger. That was actually quite recently, because I remember these announcements coming quite frequently. So let's have a look at the announcement. Announcement history. There we are. Count completes Diverger acquisition in early March. Yeah, there's quite a few of these announcements. Here we go. Yeah, a lot of these market-sensitive announcements were in regards to this acquisition. Investor presentation for proposed acquisition of Diverger. Yeah, there we go. It's going back. Doing a buyback. Oh, they were doing a buyback. Well, they didn't make another acquisition. Count successfully completes Affinia acquisition. Okay, so I'm not that attracted to companies who make a lot of acquisitions. That's one thing I don't like. I like organic growth. Now, organic growth plus acquisitions that can lead to synergistic growth might be okay. Is that a word, synergistic growth? Anyway, so Count upgrades synergy benefits. I saw the title of this. What the hell does that mean? Count upgrades synergy benefits. And yeah, so this is in regards to the acquisition of Diverger, and analyzed expected cost savings have been upgraded. I've never seen where instead of a profit upgrade, we have a cost savings upgrade to approximately $4 million. So in a way, this could be a profit upgrade because their cost savings have increased better than expected, which should be favorable to the company's bottom line. It should be favorable. This is in financial year 25. This represents a considerable increase from the initial 3 million expectation announced at the time of the transaction. And now, I suppose the difference between 3 million and 4 million is 33%. So I suppose that is a considerable increase, but nice use of word there. Hugh Humphrey, nice name for a CEO, said the upgrade further evidenced the value of this strategic transaction. I'm surprised he didn't say of this synergistic strategic transaction, and was made possible by the way in which Count has approached integration. Any other numbers in terms of profit? No, so in a way, this is a profit upgrade. So I'm glad this came to number 4. I think this deserves to come in number 4, but the market doesn't really care. Only up 2.75%. So let's have a look at the chart, and then we'll have a look at whether this company is profitable. I'm assuming it is because it did a share buyback, and if a company is not profitable and they're doing a share buyback, I'd say stop. What are you doing? Anyway, so Count Limited chart doesn't look interesting. It looks sort of interesting. This is the weekly chart, by the way. So we can see where the share price gets down here, we'll say 50 cents or so, is a time to be maybe thinking about taking position. The share price of this company is not that much higher then 50 cents at 56.5 cents. Been as high as about $1.28. So it's sort of a double top here back in just prior to COVID-19 financial panic. And then back in March 2021, many, many years ago, it was much higher, but I've never had a look at this company. So it could be a completely different company back then because of acquisitions. Market cap, yeah, as we said, about 90 million. Has a dividend yield. So this company must be profitable. 6.94% dividend yield. Price earnings ratio 10.4. Now let's have a look at what I should do. Instead of having a look at TradingView, I should use FinChat because I have it up here running. So what I like to look at here is revenue growth. Okay, so something happened to this company back in 2017, 2019, a big decrease in revenue, which sort of aligns itself to a massive decrease in share price. From 2014 to 2020, there was a massive decrease in share price. And that's a time where we saw, this company saw its revenue drop. And since then, revenue has been slowly climbing, even though the company has made some acquisitions. Now, the other thing I like to look at here is shares on issue. Shares on issue relatively flat over the past 10 years. And let's have a look at profit. Here's profit. And yeah, nothing too exciting with profit. In fact, profit has been flat the last 4 years or 3 years. There was a nice little increase in profit in 2020, but it could be just a one-off. So margins would be probably decreasing slightly. So they have gross margins. Gross profit margins, well, yeah, about 26, 28%. And a slight decrease from 2018 to 2020. All right, so this company could be cheap for a reason because it's not growing all that much. And maybe this is just a one-off increase in profit because of these synergies with this acquisition of Diverger. I'm pretty sure the Diverger was pretty big, so the company should see a pretty good increase in revenue, you would think. Anyway, one to put on your watch list, maybe if you're looking for some value. So that is Count. Used to be called Count Plus, decode CUP. All right, coming in number 3, we have PPK, whose company share price has rallied a lot, up 31.4% on the back of an order, a $30 million order from CIB. Is that Central India Bank? Can't be Central India Bank because Craig International Ballistics. Well, I've never heard of that. Funny enough, you have to click on a link to get the. Oh, yeah, this is interesting. First announcement today by the Minister for Defence Industry relating to a $30 million order received by investee company Craig International Ballistics. PPK owns 47.4% of Craig International Ballistics. This has to do with body armor. Okay, is this Queensland? Okay, Queensland. This is interesting. So body armor on the Albanese government. So Craig International Ballistics is a Queensland-based company. Body armor. So this looks like this could be a company in competition with X-Tech. X-Tech. Interesting. That's a lot of money. $30 million. I'm just going to have a look at X-Tech. I wonder if they're the same sort of thing. It could be completely different. Oh, it's not called X-Tech anymore. What's it called? HCL. No change. Okay. So, this is just, I don't usually get too excited about, as you can see on HighCom, $4.7 million ballistics product order. If they received a $30 million, this $30 million order, share price would have absolutely skyrocketed just like PBK did. I don't know much about this company at all. I can't even tell you what they do or even in the ballpark of what they do apart from owning this ballistics company. So let's have a look at the chart. And I have a feeling this company about 4 years ago, was significantly higher than what it is now. Yeah, look at that. Share price of this company got as high as $22 back in June 2021 or the middle of 2021. Now the share price is 55.5%. And the market cap is like 35 million. I have a feeling the company has no revenue, very little revenue. So this was just based off promises, a story. What does this company do otherwise, apart from owning this owning 47% in this ballistics company? Let's have a look at their half-year report. Now let's have a look at their annual report. They should have what they do in their annual report. Well, they should have something, or what they do in the half-year report as well. Principal activities should be somewhere here. Okay. So it seems like they have investments in other companies. Principal activities, nothing. I didn't see it here. And revenue in the last half year. Sorry, I'm just all over the place here. So revenue 16.6 million, but loss of 10.2 million. Where did that revenue come from? I don't know. And hopefully they give us an idea. Okay, here we go. We invest capital and expertise in high potential science and technology opportunities with the current focus on nanomaterials, artificial intelligence, and energy solutions. There we go. In fact, they mention Craig International Ballistics on this page right there. So there should be somewhere here a list of all their investments. You would want there to be. So this is sort of like an investment company, I would assume. That's what I'm assuming right now. I'm hoping there's some sort of list of all the investments. Here we go. Here we go. So they do talk about here. Review of active operations. So LIS or LIS Energy Limited, which is listed on the exchange. Something to do with lithium batteries, I assume. They also have an investment in Power Plus Energy. Supplies reliable, long-lasting modular battery storage solutions utilizing lithium ferrophosphate. Also have investment in white graphene. Okay. And BNNT Technologies. Lowest cost producer of BNNT globally. I have no idea what BNNT is. And Advanced Mobility Analytics Group, leading provider of artificial intelligence-led predictive analytics and insights to improve the safety and operation of transportation networks. Sounds interesting. Craig, and there's Craig International Ballistics. Okay, and maybe there's more. We're talking about precious metals, strategic alloys, ballistic glass, 3D dental, companies in the process of the registration mask innovation. So maybe I don't care about that. Anyway, so that's PPK, whatever it's called, group. Chart looks, well, the weekly chart looks horrendous. What about the daily chart? Daily chart looks horrendous too. Even with the share price rising today and high volume, this is not what I'm looking for, not a breakout. In fact, the share price was as high as 75 cents today, and the share price has pulled back. 76, as high as 76, the share price has pulled back because of the massive amount of resistance moving forward for this company. So after going through all that, I am not interested in this company at all. What they're doing sounds really interesting, exciting. Some of these companies they're invested in, but it seems like they're investing in story stocks, apart from maybe this ballistics company. Okay, coming in at number 2, we have Square or Block. I have to remember to call it Block, up 9.6%. And this is on the back of their Block company releasing their quarterly report. So you can, a couple of big reports here. Let's open up one of them. And obviously, either the results beat expectations or any sort of forward guidance the company did release was good. I did have a very quick look at these results and just to see if there was anything in there that was interesting. What's the guys who runs this? I know the name. I forget the name of the guy. He's a famous guy. Talking about buying, they're going to keep on buying Bitcoin. Whenever they get cash flow, they're going to buy Bitcoin. And where's the results? Here's the results. Okay. Okay, so gross profit of 2.1 billion, cash up gross profit of 1.26 billion, Square gross profit 820 million, operating income of 364, operating income adjusted operating income of 364, operating income of 250 million, and significant increase from the last 4 quarters, which were all loss-making quarters. Now, this could be just a one-off. Net income of 472 million, adjusted EBITDA of 705 million, which has been increasing quite nicely. So more than likely, they have a cash app here, and they own Afterpay as well, but I don't think anyone cares about that. What's his name? Jeff. I'm going to go back to Twitter. And of course, it's going to take ages to open. What's the ticker code? What is the ticker code in America? Is it SQ? Is it SQ? And there we go. Each month, Square or Block would be investing 10% of the gross profit from Bitcoin products into Bitcoin. Jack Dorsey, that's his name, Jack Dorsey. Yeah. So Block has spent 220 million on buying Bitcoin. That's worth 575 million. So maybe that's one of the reasons why they've had a good quarter, is because if you have a look at Bitcoin, if you have a look at how Bitcoin performed in the first quarter, it did really well. So that could be a reason why, if you go from the 1st of January, Bitcoin went from 42,000 to the end of the quarter, Bitcoin was 70,000. That's probably one of the reasons why Square or Block did really well, because of Bitcoin. Anyway, here we go. This is what I wanted to see. Revenue 5.96 billion versus 5.82 billion estimated, and earnings per share of 85 cents compared to the expectations of 73 cents. So this did beat expectations. But what I'm most excited about here is that Block announced that they will buy Bitcoin every month. I'm not sure why you should be excited about that, because overall, then your share price and the valuation of the company is going to be extremely correlated to Bitcoin. Now, if you're very bullish on Bitcoin, maybe buying Block is the way to go moving forward. Who knows? Or maybe if you're bullish Bitcoin, you just buy Bitcoin, not Block. Anyway, interesting. And let's have a look at the chart, SQ2. And charts all over the place. So a nice rally today, but that's after a big fall yesterday. Yesterday's share price fell 5.6%. So chart doesn't look exciting to me at all. And if you have a look at the weekly chart, it's well down from its highs of over $190, almost $200 back in February 2022, just after they bought Afterpay. Okay, so Block comes in at number 2. Coming in the top announcement of the day, we have Macquarie Group. They released their full year results, and the share price is down 2.4%. Now, on the surface, these results looked absolutely horrible. So obviously, the share price only down 2.9%. The market expected it. And I have a feeling the market did expect this, because profit down 32%. Net profit in the second half up 49% from the first half, but down 27% from the second half of last year. So the first half of this year was a bad year, but the second half of this year was worse than the second half of last year. International income, 66% of total income. I suppose that's good. Assets under management of 938 billion, up 7%. And there was a P ratio, or return on equity, return equity only 10.8%. Compared with 16.9% in financial year 23, and the second half analyzed return on equity, probably should not do that, 12.9%, dividend of $3.85. So obviously, probably the market was a tiny bit surprised by the results. That's why share price is down 2.8%, but not completely surprised, or otherwise the share price would have collapsed by 20%. Let's have a look if there's anything in Twitter about this. I'm just going to see if the expectations, this is just around MQG. What is it? MQG. maybe you have to do, there we go. And there we have, I was going to say Scott Morrison, but Scott Phillips saying he's not concerned. The miss that many expected. So that's probably hinting that this was expected. Then we have Rudy Villapek Van Dyke. Talking about Macquarie. Yep. Macquarie. Okay, nothing there. Yeah, so there we go. ComSec. Yeah, largely in line with consensus. So that's the profit of 3.51 billion. So in fact, the profit came in slightly above consensus. So there you go. So it slightly beat consensus. So maybe the share price should have rallied today. Anyway, let's have a look at the chart for Macquarie Group. And yeah, the chart, this is the weekly chart. Chart looks good. Long-term uptrend. Probably the way to play Macquarie Group, if you like the company, is just buy dips. And maybe this is a little bit of a dip. But the time to buy Macquarie was when the share price got below $160. So that's the time to buy this company. I have no inclination to buy Macquarie Group for the long term. That's just me. I did a little bit of research on this company probably about a year ago, and I think there's better plays out there. But again, that's just me. Now, I was going to look at charts, but the time is now 4 p.m. and I wanted to finish this video at 4 p.m. I'm going to stick to it. Be disciplined, but no charts. I've had a look at plenty of charts, but the market is closed. I've got to not feed the dog, give the dogs a treat, have a look at my new shoes, wear them in, that sort of thing. So I hope you have a great weekend. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave them in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for the video. Have a good day. Bye.